Hello, and welcome to Long Beach by Night, Season 2, Episode 7, Aut Vincere, Aut Mori, Victory or Death. So, as you might have realized, we're not here in our usual setup today. We are all beautiful floating heads in our own remote locations. Originally, we had thought that we were going to continue filming this content live. We were going to continue filming all of our content live. And quite frankly, some things changed because of the coronavirus. So we had to rearrange everything kind of at the last second to bring this in remotely. So please bear with us while we work out some of our own technical kinks. And who knows, by next week, it might be something completely different. And hopefully we'll get back into the studio, broadcasting live from there as soon as we can. In the meantime, if you are somewhere that is locked down as well, just remember to try your best to stay calm, don't panic, prepare yourself, and don't get too freaked out by it. And even though in the world of darkness, the whole point behind these games and these stories is it gives us a chance to sort of process things that are frightening to us, face things that we don't particularly enjoy. I think for my part, am going to continue telling this story like our version of Long Beach has more or less not been affected by this. So if you don't really hear me talk about everything being empty when they go out, that's why. Pending how all of this happens and shakes out over the fullness of time, maybe we'll address it in this narrative. Maybe we won't. But in the meantime, you just get to sit back and relax and watch me do some terrible things to my friends here. And with that being said, I actually will do the introductions this time because of our new setup. I don't know if you guys can see and hear each other. So we have D'Artagnan Mataliano playing the lovely Alquist.
Hello, hello.
Ash Minnick, returning champion as Violet. Vi.
Arr.
Sam DeLev as Reese.
Nothing is fine.
And last but certainly not least, Miss Melee Damage is the lovely Lula Castile. So, as independent content creators, we rely on the generosity of viewers like you, both in the forms of your bits and tips and in the support for our sponsors that make this happen. Of course, we have Dogmite, the creators of my beautiful DM screen, which I will be behind shortly. I thought about just kind of having it here, but then I'd just be wearing like a wooden breastplate, and that'd be weird. Like I'd look like I had a keg on. But Dogmite is a maker of incredible custom gaming supplies. So visit dogmite.com to check that out and get one of your very own. There is, of course, Backblaze. Visit our custom link at backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. Remember, Backblaze, $6 a month, no headaches, no strings attached. Full data backup of your pictures, videos, important files, anything you need. You can access it via your phone. You can access it remotely. They will send you a custom drive to restore things from. When you are done with that drive, you can send it back to them, and they will give you a full refund. So again, visit backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. There is also Level Up Dice, maker of fine custom vampire accoutrement, like our custom clan vampire dice here, which hopefully we all have. They are basically just beautiful. I can't really say enough about Long Beach by Night. We have all the clans, even the Duskborn. The clan lists just sort of make do. It's fine. But visit levelupdice.com to find out more. Now, on with our vampire story. Alquist, as you are making your way home after your rigorous investigation with the Long Beach Police Force, you see a familiar pickup truck parked in front of St. Valentine's house. It is Violet's. She's been gone for about a week.
Oh, Vi! Hello?
Hey, Alquist.
What brings you here?
My truck brought me here.
Yes. I meant in this vicinity. I thought you were out and away doing your thing.
I did some of my thing, but I'm back now. I hope that's okay.
Of course. I do enjoy your company.
I know. How's it been this week?
Fine. Are you alright? You left quite suddenly.
You know I do that. I'm fine. I'm here now. I'm here. And I'm here by choice. Yeah.
And I do worry about you. It doesn't seem like it at times, but I am trying.
I know you are.
Where did you go?
I'm not ready to talk about that yet. But yeah, we can talk about that later.
All right. So, did you find anything else out about the little ones that we're searching for?
Oh, no. I did have an interesting conversation though with a certain large dark being.
Oh.
But we can. I think I should. I want to tell everyone that. Is everyone here?
Not that I'm aware of. I believe they went searching for another one.
Oh, okay. So it's just us?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an empty room back here if you like.
Do you want to go fill it?
I would very much like to.
Okay.
Indeterminate and gentlemanly and ladylike time later, Lula and Reese, you all arrive back at the house. Remember when last we met, the last word was you all were sending Malibu and Savage B along to Echo Mountain where they would be safe. St. Valentine was supposed to go ahead and check out the situation at the motel, but you have not heard from him since. But you do all arrive at the house, and you also see Violet's truck parked outside.
Ooh, why's back?
Oh, yes, dear. I suppose we should go check in on them. I'm happy she made it back. I knew she would. I feel like she just needed to free herself a little bit, after getting the thing gone. So that would make sense to me. But I'm happy she's fine.
Yeah. I thought she was coming back too. Yeah, it's good to see her.
Neither of you had heard from Violet for some time. Again, she was gone about a week. A few days in, a couple of messages were traded to just sort of let you know that she was alive. But for the most part, her whereabouts have in fact been unknown.
Yeah, we could have used her. It's fine.
As you all make your way into the house, you see a visibly relaxed Violet and Alquist just sort of lounging in the living room.
Oh, I think I know that look. Oh, you two been up to something.
Whatever do you mean?
All of your hair's quite a mess.
Oh, I thought I fixed that.
It's a new look, and I think it fits me quite well.
It does look very nice.
Reminds me of the 20s.
Yes.
Hi, Vi.
Reese, hey. How are you?
Yeah. Getting along. Good to see you. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, I got your text. Is everything okay?
We resolved that situation for now. I guess nothing's ever really resolved, is it? But we still have 5 more of those children to account for, and we're working on doing that. If you'd like to help.
Yeah, Reese, I'm sorry I wasn't here to help this week, but I just needed to figure some stuff out. And
you don't need to explain yourself to me.
No, I just want to.
Mm.
So what's the plan?
Well, 3 of them Lula has stashed in a motel. St. Val was supposed to go after him. I haven't heard from him yet. He might be otherwise distracted, quite frankly. I know he also needed to feed, and his mind's on his show. But there's also, we found the last 2.
Yeah?
One is apparently in a morgue.
Like working there, or like?
You now know as much as I do.
Okay.
And one of them is on the military base with your buddies. Has been for like 4 months. You know, did a sensible thing. Checked himself into a hospital. That went well.
Okay. So we've got some real potential masquerade breaches then.
Yep.
Both the morgue and at a military base.
Yes, if I might suggest, going after the one in the morgue might actually be the easiest. Because here's the thing. The one in the military, they've had for some time now. And if they haven't come after us yet, well, we might still be safe enough to at least talk to Titus and Zeddy's and see if they can get a good look in on him before anything does happen or he does say anything. But worst case scenario, going in there, just, balls to the wall face first is only going to put us in more danger and get us killed. This one, I would say, tread softly. I mean, if you want anything guarded, you usually give it to the military for a reason. So getting in there to him is not exactly going to be the easiest thing, I feel. We need to take lightly with that one.
Nothing we ever do is easy.
I agree, dear.
That being said, I can't imagine leaving someone trapped there. Who knows what they're doing? But I agree. Maybe we reach out to our friends on the inside and see what they know. Have we asked them about this at all yet?
We had a brief conversation with them a couple days ago, but we exchanged numbers finally, thank goodness. And I think that they've got their eyes out. Hopefully, we should hear from them soon about anything that they find.
That's a lot of hurry up and wait right now.
Pretty much.
Would anyone like to reach out to Typhus and Zetes?
Sure. I will send them a text. Okay. And I will say, how's it looking on the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy?
All right. You have sent that text.
I text Val again, for what it's worth. He is responsible for his phone. He is not that old. This is not some tiny man situation. I expect him to answer it. Damn it.
Your phone rings.
All right, good.
It is from him.
I've got Val. You guys, give me a minute.
You hear deafening industrial music in the background. Hey, Reese, hey.
Hey.
My stage setup came in early, and I had to be here to make sure that it was all set up right, because if the trapdoors don't line up, it could cut somebody's leg off.
We'll talk to you later. I hang up.
But Reese,
all right, Val's flaked. We're on our own for the motel as well.
Fantastic.
I mean, I'm not really surprised. He has a bit of a performer toreador type streak in him. He does even for Tremere, so I'm surprised.
Just got to work with what we have.
you all have seen St. Valentine's messages about the show have started going out with some of the buried Tremere mystical symbolism sort of in some of the layers of the file type thing. Like he very much put out several posters with things kind of like, if you knew what you were looking at, you very much could see. Otherwise, it would just look kind of non-specifically mystical. But he is advertising far and wide.
Well, he's doing what he's doing, so we probably have to pick up all our folks. I'm with Vi. I don't think it's a good idea to keep a kindred in the hands of hunters. I think that is an invitation to bring all the Second Inquisition together and point and say, hey, look, we got to do something. Eventually, it puts the focus on us.
I agree entirely. We can't leave him there. But we, again, like I said, can't just go in with absolutely no plan and no safety precautions either, because it is quite possibly one of the strangest and hardest things I've really ever been thinking about and having to ever face. Again, it's the military. It's like Fort Knox here.
I'm not saying we go in without a plan, but I'm not saying we sit back and wait for someone else to tell us what the plan is. Let's, send a message to our friends, and in the meantime, maybe check out the morgue, and then at least go scout this base.
I've sent a message to them already. Hopefully they'll get us back soon. And again, I'm not trying to wait as long as possible. I'm just trying to make sure that when we do have a plan, it's one that's made of informed decisions.
No one's disagreeing with you.
Alquist, your phone rings. It is the custom ring from your ghoul.
Oh.
And when the ring goes off, it says, Alquist, hit talk and put me to your ear. Alquist, hit talk and put me to your ear. Alquist, hit talk and put me to your ear.
I think this person wants me to talk. Hello?
Hello, sir. I trust you're well.
I am. How do you?
I just wanted you to know that the first two passengers have arrived here aboard Mount Echo, a Malibu and a Savage Bee.
Ooh, yes. Please take care of them.
Sir, they insisted on, what was it they said? Christening each room?
Christening each room. Well, I think they should be allowed to do that.
I'm hearing a lot of furniture moving around. If you don't mind, I would like to stay sort of on the deck. They kind of make me a little uncomfortable.
Well, if you must. But make sure you keep an eye on them, too.
I will, sir, is Reese around? Can they hear me?
Yes, Reese.
Yeah?
There's a tiny person that would like to speak to you.
Love tiny people.
Oh, perfect. And the phone to Reese.
We have an advanced security system here on board Mount Echo. Mr. Vincere can actually access all the cameras from his device. If you go through the apps, you'll be able to see it. I don't know that my boss would be able to figure that out for himself, but I did set it up for him.
Much appreciated. Just for convenience's sake, and so he doesn't miss anything, would you mind authorizing my phone as well?
Yeah, I will take care of that. I got your number last time I was there.
Absolutely, much obliged.
All right. Mr. Vincere, I'm going to go on a tiny walk now, if that's all right with you.
Oh, yes. Please be careful. There's others in there with you.
Yes, we're all happy. We just miss you, sir.
Oh, yes, I miss you too. Please come out of the phone whenever you're ready.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the line goes dead. A moment later, Reese, your phone does vibrate, and you do see you get access to 4 cameras. You deeply suspect there's more. It is basically hallways and a couple of very nice bedrooms, and they do very much look like the decoration and accoutrement of St. Valentine's Haven, but better.
The sincerest form of flattery. I text a thank you and say that I am looking forward to getting permissions for the rest of the system.
You do not get a follow-up answer. But you do, however, see Malibu and Savage sort of going around through the different rooms. And you notice at one point they pull out a drawer and there's like a silver in it. And they pick it up and they're looking at it and they say something to each other. And then they sort of look at it and they kind of put it back in the drawer and slide the drawer shut again. And then proceed to excessively make out.
Oh, yep, nope, that's enough. That's great. Awesome. That's enough internet for the day.
So, Malibu and Savage B have headed to the mountain. What about our other friends, the first 2 children we talked to?
They're still out on their own reconnaissance. Those 2 were priority. We didn't want to prevail upon the hospitality of the person who helped us secure and keep them.
Okay. I mean, if the mountain's ready for guests, are we sending them?
Are you referring to Mr. Archibald Motley of the aquarium tour guide, an ichthyologist, and Hayden with his ghouls, Dale and Timbo?
Yeah, I am. Timbo.
My plan, at least, is to round up the last of the uncertain ones and find out what their status is, what we need to do with them. If they're willing, send them along to the boat, and then call in the couple that we already got. But I think...
Wait, what boat? I thought it was a mountain.
Oh,
Yes.
Where do I start?
Is it a boat or?
It is a massive mountain of a boat. It is called Mount Echo.
Oh, okay.
Because when we're inside, it echoes. I know, I'm quite genius.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
neither of us is surprised in this moment.
Do you show her the pictures, Alquist?
Yes, I do.
On his phone, there's a shortcut right there on the home screen to pictures of a very palatial super yacht, and it very much looks like the aesthetic of St. Valentine's Haven, all the way down to some of the posters. But again, a little better.
Look! There's a boat that goes inside the boat. It's pregnant, kind of. Yes.
It's the SS Yo Dog. I'm sorry, I know that goes over heads, but I had to say it.
Yo dog. Yo. All right.
I suppose we should go check out this morgue business then, no.
Yeah, until we hear from your ghouls, that's probably, at least it'll let us get something done.
At this exact moment, dawn is approaching. It has been a particularly long night, both pursuing Malibu and Savage B and the other events that have revealed themselves. So you all would need to go to sleep within minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose we should take care of this business first thing in the morning then?
First thing in the evening.
Yes, I agree.
We can take care of business in the morning once.
Accurate.
Accursed daylight savings time has greatly complicated things. Lula, as you are heading over towards your bed, the sight comes upon you unbidden. And as you open the door to your bedroom, all of reality falls away. And you see standing there in the middle the same chessboard that you saw before, and all the pawns rushing forward, and the bowling ball rolling over the pawns, but they finally start to hold it, and the knights come out and start attacking it. And this time, though, the vision continues when the giant queen piece slides forward a little bit, and all of the rooks and everything else take a step forward. And then the queen piece slides again, and all the pieces move forward. And you see the bowling ball actually starts to roll back a little bit as all the other pieces march forward. And a swarm of bats appears flying around the chessboard. And the pieces move forward again, and the bowling ball moves back a little, but the bats start swooping towards the board and just knocking over everything, knocking over pieces, hitting the ball, everything, and just chaos starts to erupt. And the whole board begins to shake, and like cracks start to form on it. And then you're back.
She runs into Reese's room. She goes, Reese,
Yeah.
I think I figured out what a lot of these visions have been meaning that I've been having lately. You remember the bowling La Sombra? I don't think it's the La Sombra. I think it's the Giovanni and the Shadow Lords, and I think that that's what the shadow was, but I think the pieces are supposed to be your childer. And this time I saw it again at war with the queen, and then the bats entered, which I think is pander, and just absolute pandemonium broke loose. So again, I think I just need to express to you once again how imperative it is that you do not weaponize these childer for the sake of all of us.
The moment we have a better plan for having a bunch of kindred that need to feed, that will provoke the attention of not only the Giovanni, but potentially the Second Inquisition, I'm all ears. Until you have that,
to feed on them, dear, and hopefully that's one of the things we'll be teaching them, because it's not like they're going to go around murdering people. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. You shouldn't have to kill people to feed, and that's what we need to teach them. There should be a never-ending food supply in Long Beach as long as there's people walking around and living. The thing is that if we directly attack face on the Giovanni, we will lose, and all of them, and quite possibly us, will die.
it is lovely to think that Long Beach is big enough for all of us.
Well, then I'm going to say right now and claim myself as Baron and tell you that it is. And I will make it so.
Good night, Lula. Good morning.
Good evening.
Do you all go to bed?
Yeah, no declaring practice when you're sleepy.
Those are Camarilla words. We do not say those words here.
You're right. I'm so sorry. Who would ever do such a thing within the Anarch movement?
Lula, when you go back into your room, there's a message on your cell phone from Zool.
Oh, I look at it.
It says, strays fed and put to bed.
I write back, thank you, dear. I'm trying my best to keep everyone safe as well as I can. Thank you for doing the same. I love you. And she gets sent.
You get back a string of fat-fingered words like R2 TTL7 and then a space and like you two. So he's like
when I first see the mistyped text come in, I check to make sure I didn't accidentally send that to Alquist.
Not this time. All right, you all make your way into the rooms long since prepared for you and your needs, and soon the day sleep takes over, where as the sun begins to crest the horizon, you feel the calling that all kindred feel, that basically renders you completely inert. And for a few hours of the day, you are essentially dead. When you wake up, both of you, Violet and Lula, you have several missed calls from Typhus and Zetis.
Yo, okay. All right. I will call him back.
Typhus answers immediately. Hey. Oh, yeah, are you all right? You good?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Can we come by? Like last time we just stopped by, like it seemed like it was uncool and like everybody seemed like not too happy to see us. So is it all right if we just like come through?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. All right. Sit tight. We'll be there soon.
Okay. I'm gonna roll over and poke Alquist. Wake up! We have guests coming.
Oh, yes. Okay. Tell them to do the thing. I roll back over.
A few minutes later, maybe as you're getting ready, Lula, your phone rings again. This time it's Zool.
I answered. Hello, dear. How are you?
Hey, no, I'm on my way in. I just, thank you for the message last night. I didn't really know how to respond, and I knew I had about like 40 seconds before, the sleep took me, and just, I just want you to know, like, I really appreciate you, Lula. Like, just thank you.
Oh, I appreciate you too, Sue.
Do you want to know, the location of, our guests?
Not quite yet, dear. I trust you.
I don't hear those words too often. Hey, could you just do me a favor?
Are you going to make me forget something? Usually when people say that, they're about to make me forget something.
No. That's the way Temple does things. No, it's I do it real different. Like when I need people to forget things, it's usually with the Alquist found out about those about the guy that the military's got, and he found out from some of my people, and I don't know how he did that. Like I really don't. Like it's been racking my brain. How did that guy figure something out that I didn't know?
Oh, Alquist is quite a bit older than he lets on. He's got his tricks here and there. He's a sneaky boy at times, which is why we do love him so very dearly. Even though, he tends to try to seduce everything that moves. But, to be fair, that is kind of what the Toreador do.
Hey, don't tell him I said thank you or anything, but, respect, respect.
I will tell him thank you and respect.
Lula, and you hear like a clattering of like him like taking an old school phone off the hook, taking you off of speakerphone, and he gets much closer. He's like, Lula, those other two you got, you're promising me you got them on ice, right? Like they're not gonna get loose and hurt nobody else, right?
Well, dear, right now they're on a ship, which I have been told should keep them fairly safe, although I suppose there's nothing stopping them from jumping over and just walking ashore, but hopefully that will be enough to deter them, to keep them out where they are until we can teach them a few things. But dear, if they don't mind their P's and Q's, you will be the first one that knows, and I will let you know. But if they become a problem, we will try to solve it in-house first. They need time to learn, dear. And I understand very much that you think that they've done crimes and you want to make them pay for them, but...
No, Lula, I don't think they've done crimes. They've done crimes. They killed people.
Honey, it's not the same, though. We're Malkavian. You must know that sometimes the madness takes a hold of you, especially when they're new to all of this. Think of how many you don't take someone to jail when they're crazy.
I know, maybe I put him in the ground. I'm telling you, I just want you to know, I know I don't always express myself clearly, but the fact that I'm leaving those two walking around is the sweetest thing I can do for you, okay? I'm doing that for you.
I appreciate that, sweet, but do try to think of it this way. Again, when someone does something and they're out of their mind, you don't arrest them, you take them to get help. And that's what we're trying to do. And above all, you and I know that better than anyone, you know?
Speaking of, that guy that Augusta beat up, broke all his arms and legs, who tried to rob her.
Yeah.
I got him set up at the hospital. He's in traction. He's not going to tell anybody that a grandma hospitalized him.
Oh. Yes, dear, that's good. And I do suppose he had that coming. She's a tough one. I like her, but fisticuffs.
Yeah. Hey, just keep that gun close till I can have you close to me. All right?
Oh, thank you, dear. I will indeed. I got it right here. And she pats a rather large lump sticking out on her left side.
Yeah. All right. Call me if you need me. Okay, baby.
I will indeed.
And the line goes dead.
Lula will walk out into the main room to look for everybody.
When you all come out into the main room, all of you out of your assorted sleeping locations, Typhus and Zetas are standing in the middle of the living room.
Hi. Hi.
Oh, hello, dears. How are you doing? Good to see you again.
Typhus very quickly approaches you like he wants to hug you vibe, but he just sort of like stops for a second and he's like, is it all right if...
Yes, yeah.
And he gives you a very strong hug. Yeah. He's like, yeah, just, glad to see you, like, you're back from your mission or trip or just whatever.
Yeah, glad to be back. Do you have any news for us?
Yeah. Lula, you see Zetas is still just sort of like looking at you with a smile on his face, and then his eyes sort of like turn towards Alquist and then back towards you, and he smiles again.
Oh, did you get the letter, dear? Did you read it all?
He just sort of like smiles and kind of like looks down at the floor a little bit.
And Lula makes eyes at Alquist and him, and then Alquist and him, and then...
This all seems very cute, but maybe we should focus on the important topics. Right down.
Yes, what is the plan?
Zetas just sort of like snaps out of it and stands at attention, and he goes, yeah, sorry, we located your missing person. It was not easy. Any of you been in Long Beach long enough to remember Naval Regional Medical Center?
Yes, I do remember this.
Zetas sort of looks at you and he looks like surprised, and he's like, oh, did you serve?
No. I knew a seaman.
He turns very red, and Typhus is like, yeah. There used to be a big medical complex, Naval Regional, from like the 40s or 50s or whatever, until about 10, 20 years ago. Sold it to the city. They knocked it down, built a shopping center over it, Long Beach Town Center. What most people don't know is all that underground infrastructure, tunnels, research labs, all that stuff never shut down. Your person is in there. In a top secret classified research base under the frickin' mall.
You have access to this base?
They sort of look at each other and they're like, I mean, yes, in the sense that we are active duty servicemen. That's kind of about the end of it, but it's that place is maximum security.
Do you need, so you need even more like special clearance than you.
They sort of look at each other again, and they sort of say, Zeddy kind of moves his coat to the side, and again, he sort of shows you where you see the advanced tactical body armor that he's wearing and the pistol that is in the holster. Then he's like, again, we're part of the R&D group. Maybe that could get us in. Might need a little bit of time, but we probably
I have an idea.
That.
If at some point, you can sneak me in close enough to some form of officer who has the ability to give you the permission or the clearance that you need, I might be able to do the magic trick to convince him to do it for you.
Typhus sort of looks at you, Lula, and he's like, with respect, ma'am, we can't really help you hurt any of our brothers and sisters in arms.
It won't hurt. I can get him to give you clearance, a little bit more clearance, and that's all. He won't even see me.
They're like, we can see what we can do, yeah?
All right, yeah. Yes, well done. I was hoping you'd be able to get a bit further than that. What is it, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, but we can get it figured out. You guys have done a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
When you say I'd hoped you'd have been able to do more than that, you see like Zedis, your ghoul in particular, Lula, sort of like stiffens up a little bit at those words, and he's like,
"Oh,
well,
not enough time incapable, dear. Just clearance-wise, the way they got stuff locked down. I hoped it wouldn't be so terrible."
Miss Lula, I don't know if you know how much you know about how these things work, especially in our side of things, you know, the side of things where we deal with stuff that doesn't exist. If they got your guy there, one of 2 things happen. Either they cut him into little tiny pieces that night, and that's that, or he's alive and well and they're studying him indefinitely. We'll try and find out which is which, but I don't think it's the kind of place that you.
Neither one of those are a good outcome, dear. So yes.
Yes.
Can we get perhaps more information about the location, maps, things of that nature, the number of personnel that are working there?
One of them pulls out a map, or pulls out his phone and pulls up a map of the Long Beach Town Center, which really is built over an old military base, by the way. And there's a couple of X's. There's like one sort of near a parking deck. There's one sort of like what looks like the back entrance of one of the mini mall pretzel places. And one that is just sort of like freestanding. It looks almost kind of like a door to nowhere. He's like, you can get in there, there, and there. Most of the personnel are plain clothes because, of course, they just look like they're walking through the mall. You know, like the guys don't get all machine gunny till you get down a couple of levels.
Okay, but you don't have any blueprints or anything of the actual base?
We could try. We only been on this a day or 2.
Okay. If you come with us and you can tell me which one of these plain clothes is quite possibly just hanging out there with you guys, I might be able to utilize him to get us further.
I think we need a bigger plan than just that, though.
Well, give us a little time to stake it out. We'll, now that we know this is what we're after, maybe we can figure out the comings and goings and then, you know, see where to insert ourselves. And then when Zeta says insert ourselves, Typhus kind of looks at him, kind of like what gives him one of those that's what she said sort of looks. And he's like, come on, man. Yeah. Yeah. They both sort of like, can we just ask one other question? You see these two burly, bearded killing machines. Both of them kind of immediately seem almost like schoolboys, kind of like looking at each other, kind of like you say it, no, you say it. You know, you're like, come on, man. It's like, nah, dude, I won the dice roll. Okay. Typhus, again, your ghoul, Vi, sort of like stiffens up a little bit and he's like, ma'am, we don't know, however, what this is works. Like, we got these powers and we both like seen shit. You'd be surprised how talkative dogs are. Cats, not really. Cats really are assholes. Dogs, though, talk your ear off. Milton's a bro. I had to cut back on the French fries because he was getting a little too heavy to fly.
What's your question, Typhus?
Is this permanent?
Do you want it to be?
OOC, to maintain them as ghouls, you need to give them blood at least every 30 days. Mm-hmm. Or a far more permanent solution, of course.
Lula is currently biting her finger and stirring a glass for her ghoul to actually drink. So it's funny you mention that.
When you say, do you want it to be, Zetes just sort of says, you know, cards on the table. We're not going to lie to you folks. We still don't know about any of this, but I can't speak for my brother here, but I can't imagine going back to the other side of the curtain.
In its current state, it's not permanent, but it can continue as long as you check in with us at least once a month. And, and then she basically cuts open her thumb and holds it out.
He sort of looks at it for a second and he's like, the fuck out of here, really?
That's how it works.
Lula, you said you were mixing your blood into what?
Just a cup of water. See, how long has it been since the last time we found him?
A few weeks. It is not the type of thing that giving it to them early is a problem. It's just if you don't give it to them in at least a month, it starts to wear off. Okay, yes. What happens if I give them more? It's all about the same. A ghoul's a ghoul.
All the same. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit of blood falls into the water, and Zetes just sort of like looks at or Typhus looks at your thumb for a second, Violet, and Zetes is like, Lisa, I got some water, and just slams it, you know? And then Typhus sort of just like, all right, I'm a homeless posing super soldier, and this is that hunts monsters, and this is not the strangest thing that's ever happened to me. And he does basically just like sucks, and you see both of them when they do it, their pupils sort of expand, and they Zetes immediately starts looking around, and he's like, wait, why are like the doors and the windows and everything glowing? Like,
it's wards. You're seeing wards. It's this place is protected.
Oh, you lost it already, dear. You're already starting to get a little bit excited.
It's just, is it like, do I like do it on purpose? Like, I don't know. Just like every once in a while, I'm just like outside and we're in the park, and then just like some dude from the 1850s walks by, and then other times it's just.
You can can do it on purpose, but most of the time it just hits you when it wants to, I found.
Typhus leans over to you, Vi, and he's like, I don't particularly mind talking to the animals, but is there a way I could turn it off? Because again, the pigeons and they're just like talk, 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 talk.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like for you. I think it's different for everyone. Do you meditate?
Yeah.
You can meditate and imagine. I find visuals help. Imagine sort of a ball of protection around you, and imagine it in your mind, and it keeps all the voices out. I have requested gatekeepers from the spirit realm. I don't know how you feel about that, but they help protect and keep things out. And you can ask them to drop the shields. It's a visual thing. But yeah, if you make it visual, you drop the shields and you bring them up.
When you say spirit guardians, you notice your ghoul Typhus very much kind of gives you the get out of here look, but Lula's ghoul Zetes actually leans in more. He's like, I saw that. I saw Miss Lula. I saw that, what she's talking about. I saw that.
Well, yes, dear, please tell me about it.
You know, it's not gonna it's gonna sound crazy, I know, but I went to sleep because we mostly like sleep in the daytime now, right? Because we kind of gotta like keep you guys hours. And I had a dream in Knowlton, the first commanding officer of the 1st Special Forces Division in the United States history, came to me and he talked to me.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. What did he say?
And he does very much look like you see him sort of think about it, and he's like, with respect, ma'am, I don't know that I could divulge the content of a superior officer's message just now. But he did say that we should help you.
Yes, I believe you should too, dear. We're just trying to keep everyone safe. Ourselves, yourself, other people, pretty much everyone here.
Speaking of safe, what is that, Lula? And he very much points towards what you thought was a very well-concealed handgun. He very much is like, what's that?
That is a toy for big girls, and you cannot have one.
He shows you his gun again, and he's like, duly noted, ma'am. And he's like, all right, we're going to go stake this place out unless you need anything else from us.
Just keep your phone nearby, dear. And yes, if you find anything else that is absolutely pertinent to us, please do let us know at the moment's notice, that instant. And likewise, if we need your help for anything, dear, we'll let you know.
And she strokes his cheek and kind of gives him a gentle pinch.
Zetes just turns and looks at you for a split second, Alquist, and is like, I did enjoy the letter. I would look forward to talking more when there's a less insane time, sir.
Yes, I do enjoy your company, and I would love it if you could show me some new combative moves, maybe help me out.
He's like, I would love to train you, sir.
Yes.
And he turns to leave, and Typhus leaves also, and he turns around and he looks at Reese. He's like, does the name Fawn mean anything to you?
Why?
She said to tell you that you got this and the streets is watching. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, it does. How do you hear that?
She said it to me.
How do you know her?
She just walked up to me and started talking. Apparently that's our life now. Like, we hang out in parks and hunt monsters and see crazy shit.
Good. Yeah. She's around. she's a real one. Don't pay her any mind, but I appreciate you passing along the message.
She said something like, just hold on to the lucky marble when you feel alone. So
I always do.
you got that there. Okay.
Hey, Typhus, before you go.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you find some of those animals a bit annoying and some of them cute. Don't underestimate the usefulness of communicating with animals, especially when trying to get information about underground things.
I'm going to go talk to some rats, ma'am. Oh, yeah. All hail the Queen of the Sea, by the way. And they do both make these, like, huge dramatic bows. I'm like, to you.
Reese joins.
That's mighty kind of y'all.
Yep. And they do laugh, and they're like, Lula, bye. Reese, Alquist.
Bye.
And they turn and go.
And when this is all over, we're going to have to get you like one of those mermaid tails and a seashell bra and send you on your way, right?
Right before Typhus walks out the door, he yells, I'd pay for that. And leaves.
See? It's a good look.
Nope.
Not yet. Got it.
If you even a casual search through Google reveals that what they told you is true. Naval Regional was a large medical complex. It was sold in Long Beach. It was knocked down, and it is a shopping center now. Obviously, there is no, check here for super secret underground medical facility. That part, not so much. But the rest of it, it is very much an open air shopping center in the same vein as the area near the aquarium. You found, even though there are some indoor malls in Long Beach, for the most part, almost all of it is that open air sort of concept, taking advantage essentially of the weather and the ocean and things like that. Although the town center is, let me not even say and mix up my Long Beach geography, but yes, it is an open air complex that with all the stores and accoutrement that you would expect. Unless somebody told you, you wouldn't think anything of it other than, another big shopping area. It was actually Reese. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but Reese, either give me your wits and investigation or wits and streetwise. Any of you can do this, actually, wits and investigation or wits and streetwise.
I would like to roll wits and aspects and activate sense the unseen.
Absolutely. Do roll me your wits and aspects, by the way.
That's a 6 from me on a messy crit.
Reese, was that streetwise or investigation that you rolled?
Very streetwise, extremely streetwise.
Reese, you see that that area was recently received $100 million in funding for an expansion area. The same investment group has been doing revitalization for several areas around Long Beach, replacing old attractions with new ones. What you've heard, the word on the waves, is a lot of the kids are upset, but that it's not exactly clear where the money's coming from. They're sort of like shell companies, and a lot of them dead end at a company called Pentex. That some of your people are like, wait, what? Why was like, huh? That's a fight the power, evil empire, like that essentially very negative corporate influences are investing heavily in the area, and they're investing heavily in that area too. Massive renovations of this shopping center.
I report this aloud in Alquist's hearing. Not that he's competitive or anything.
You see inside of here, are you sensing the unseen in St. Valentine's Haven, or were you looking for something else?
Were we not headed to the location yet? I'm sorry, I must have misheard.
Oh, no. As of this exact second, you all are still at St. Valentine's Haven. You have not moved.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I misheard.
No problem. Well, I tell you what. Sit on that roll for when you do sense the unseen. That'll be your 8 with the messy credit at the time. Although, now that you all know this, you do sort of have 3 potential paths you can follow. You have the kindred who are at the hotel, you have the as of yet unidentified person at the morgue, or you could proceed investigating more the kindred who is currently in military custody. So which way are you guys going to go?
Well, my inclination is that this base is risky enough to take the time and do it right. But that whoever it is in the morgue is the least accounted for that we could realistically do something about right now.
I 100% agree. That one should be fairly easy to take care of.
I guess we'll find out. I mean, you might have thought Malibu was easy to take care of, and I got news about that.
Yes, but we had a long string of inclinations that wasn't going to be the case with them before anything happened. So this one we barely found first because they've been leaving absolutely no trail, and we barely found it all. They've been keeping fairly quiet.
Violet, you don't know anything about a morgue.
Well, no, that's not true, because Reese already told me about it.
Oh, did she? Did they? Okay.
They did, yeah. I know, but that's all I know. There's someone at the morgue. All right, so which morgue we going to?
You all believe you know the hospital. It is one of the largest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Out of curiosity, Vi.
Yeah.
People who move through ground, can they do that with other people? With them?
I've never tried that. I don't know. I don't know. We could try it.
It's an underground base. I'm thinking through our options. We have a possible in, but I don't trust it as an out.
Beast doesn't want to do it either.
Also, Reese, how has your communications with the local NOS been?
Friendly so far, if a bit limited.
I think having a couple of invisible friends might help us with our base problem.
Couldn't agree more.
Just a thought.
I think it's St. Val who has the closest ties. Naki seemed to take a liking to him.
All right, well.
That is true, but you all do have Naki's contact info should someone want to reach out to her.
Oh, yes, I do. I will reach out to her. She was such a pleasant young girl. I love that last conversation. She seemed very sweet.
Yeah, put her up on speaker. It'd be lovely to talk to her.
You can give her a call?
Yes.
A minute later, right after you dial, you hear, "Hey, hello, hi, hello, Lula, hi, hello."
Hi, nice to hear. How are you, honey?
In the background, you hear a lot of noise. She's probably somewhere near the shore. You hear like ocean waves crashing.
Oh, Naki, honey, we're going to send you a pin of our location or somewhere near it. We'd like to meet you to talk to you about asking your help.
Sure, but Lula, but love, and the line goes dead.
No, I'm going to send her a text. That way it'll go through when the signal gets a little better.
Okay, and what do you text her?
We need to meet up. I have a favor to ask of you.
And are you going to drop the pin at the hospital or somewhere else?
What do you all think? Should I have her meet us at the hospital?
No, somewhere else, I think. NOS have their own way of getting information. That doesn't mean we have to make it easy for them. We don't know Naki too well. I would like to make friends, but, trust but verify.
Yes. There's a park not too far from here, correct?
Yes.
I'll send her there. I'll set a little pin there.
A few minutes later, she replies with BRT, and then the next space is meep meep vroom and a heart.
Oh, excellent. I do believe she's on the way. So, I think we take a quick jaunt over there, maybe meet her real quick, and then head off to the north. Does that sound like a plan to everyone?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Very savvy, Lula.
Oh, excellent. Yes, dear. I trying my hardest to I've got to pick up the slack since I'm the only one around up in here anymore. You know, I used to be able to rely on the others for certain things. Now I've got to kind of keep it on grade A all the time. It's a bit stressful and trying, but I'm hopefully, nonetheless, working perfect.
Yeah, well, I know you said they were trapped up in there, but we'll get them out. Don't worry.
Thank you, dear. And thank you for your kind words.
Lula, roll your unspent willpower.
Lovely.
While Lula's assembling this, are the rest of you going to do anything before you head to this park?
Six successes.
I don't think so.
I'd like to have a quick conversation with Reese.
All right. Lula, let me just say, with 6 successes, you feel this powerful compulsion to say something in Italian. It's weird. You kind of control it, but it just sort of like bubbles up in your mind. Through the wonder of modern technology, I will message you what it is you feel like you're going to say. There you go. Although you by no means lose control of yourself, but this just sort of like rolls around in your mind a couple of times. It's Latin, not Italian, sorry.
Yeah, Vi, what was it you needed?
Yeah, I just take Reese to the side for a second. Did I understand you correctly last night, saying there were 3 other of your children that Lula found?
Yeah, there were.
Well, that's great. How'd she find? Were they all together? I mean, I don't
know.
So she was out looking on her own?
You're asking a bunch of very good questions, Vi.
Was this information that Lula gave to you freely, or that you found out?
It was not information I think she wanted me to have. And there's a certain amount of logic to that, given what happened to one of them.
Seems a bit prejudiced logic.
It does. Doesn't sit right with me.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Yep. Lula has always done well by us.
Well, except that time that she was secretly spying on us to the Giovanni.
Well, but that wasn't Lula.
Well.
Now that she's all pandered, ostensibly Lula is the only Lula we've got.
Okay. Doesn't sit right with me either, Reese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up, eyes up. But
Yep.
when was the last time either of us trusted anyone?
I trust you.
That's very kind of you.
It's not out of kindness. It's out of experience.
Then it is appreciated.
All right. Well, I'll take your lead on this. They're yours.
Yep, but if you see a thing that needs doing, I trust your instincts in that respect.
I appreciate that. All right.
How is it with
Meanwhile,
Alquist?
oh, sorry. Please go on.
It's Alquist. I don't know what's going on with that ghoul, but we'll see.
I mean, did that sit right with you?
No, but he's his own person.
I guess in that respect, you both are.
Yeah. We both have our quirks. I up and leave without telling anybody, and he is very friendly.
He was real helpful while you were gone, for what it's worth.
He can be very helpful. I know y'all have had your differences, but he can be very helpful.
I don't know that I will ever see whatever it is you see in him, but I saw a little more of what might be there from time to time.
All right. Well, let's get to the morgue.
And if he ever gives you problems, I'll eat him. Yeah, let's get to the morgue.
While they're away, Lula and Elquist, the two of you are left alone.
Here, we need to talk. You and I are the two oldest ones here, and I really want to let you know that I do plan on becoming Baron very, very soon, because it has become very clear to me that no one else is taking a lot of these precautionary measures into play. I know that they're trying their best, but Reese is very young, despite the fact that they're so powerful. And I love dear Fire, but she spent most of her life in the woods and doesn't really know much about the politics of things. And you, dear, just don't really seem to care for the political power. You're more of the light, shiny, fancy, glitzy, glamour thing. But I need to protect you all. No one's paying attention to the things that are very obviously going to come back and bite us in the anus. And I do not want to be the one that's got to clean up the mess every single time, and the one that's got to keep, saying the obvious. And I am going to claim barony, because at this way, no one can mess with our childer. I know what Reese is, but it's our coteries problem. And I will not let anyone, especially the Giovanni, come in and start stamping their feet around and trying to take out what's ours. I also don't want to send them into their death, dear. But I'm going to have to claim a position of power, and this is my route, to not send them to war.
You think being Baroness is the right thing to do?
I do, because then it puts everyone on me instead of them. And I can handle myself, but I don't necessarily know if I have faith in large groups of new kindred to do the same.
Do you think you can handle yourself? Especially with the certain things going on in your mind?
Well, the certain things going on in my mind have not been going on in my mind. And even when they do, there's really only one of them that's a problem. And if that comes back, then we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. As of right now, I seem to be the only one that cares about keeping everyone alive.
I don't think that's true at all.
Explain, please.
I feel like we all try to keep each other alive. It's beneficial for all of us. But I don't understand your recent thirst for power.
Because I'm trying to protect you all, which is the only thing I've been doing, but no one wants to listen to me.
What do they always say? The road to hell is paved
Yes,
with good
well, the second
intention.
Lula says anything, exactly. The road to your own hell will be paved with good intentions if you all don't start listening to me. I'm trying to help you out, and none of you ever pay attention when I make suggestions. And if you do it to spite me, and then throw back in my face that there's multiple of me inside my head. You hold
But
against me the things I do wrong and never give me credit for the things I do right.
to be fair, you were helping Giovanni.
I was not. Genevieve was, and she's just as big, if not a bigger problem for me than she is you.
Well, if baroness is what you really want, then I don't see why.
No one should want it. It's the only option that I see fit to keep us all safe. It's a thing that puts a giant target on your back, your face, your head, and makes everyone come after you. It is not a position to be sought after. It is one of responsibility. And if I have to be the one that takes it, then so be it. But I will do my best to keep every single one of us alive, so help me God.
You seem quite convicted.
Yes, this has become a giant mess, dear, especially now with one in the military. That's going to bring the Second Inquisition down on us all, and I don't... I'd say we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't with that one, and I'm just very scared, and I don't want to lose any of you. So, again, I'm willing to be the face of that, and if anyone goes down, I'll take the blame to keep you all safe. But until then, I don't think we should send them straight into the hands of Giovanni either. That's going to be a disaster. And, if you feed a stray cat, it keeps coming back. And if we sacrifice all of the children to the Giovanni, they're going to keep asking more of us. They're never going to let it down. They're never going to take their foot off of our necks. We can't just give them exactly what they want, despite the fact that, we think we're doing ourselves a favor. It won't end that way.
That is quite interesting. So what you think instead is taking Baroness and fighting the good fight to keep us alive?
Politically, yes. We might be able to reach out to some other barons, some other people. I've been back and forth to the valley a lot, maybe them, but maybe not. They seem to have their hands full, but there's a lot of people that I can reach out to help, to ally us with more power. I don't think we can kill the Giovanni. I think the best we're going to do is make them leave and go somewhere else, and that's best case scenario. I don't think we're going to be able to get rid of the ones here in Long Beach completely. But the way to do that is not to sacrifice ourselves by just rushing into war. We have the ability, and we have friends in other places from all the different places we've been. Maybe I'll reach out and see if anyone made it through San Diego. We did have a prince down there at one time even, so no matter who, we need to reach out to, whichever I can, and I will try, but nobody should have to die, not on our side at least.
Reese and Vi, you all approach and hear Lula's words. No one should have to die, not on our side, at least.
Beautiful sentiment.
Vincere, dear, I'm just so worried about all of you so much.
Question. Does this worry motivate you acting behind our backs? You think that's the best way to...
Yes. Because I've been having visions that said that they were going to go to their death. And the words that you were saying were very much leaning towards exactly what I saw in my vision. So to protect them, I had to do what I had to do.
What you had to do?
Yes.
I don't remember anything you doing not being a choice.
And where were you, Violet? Just run off and leave us all here to do all of this by ourselves?
I was gone for a week.
Did you have a better idea while you were gallivanting now that your noose is gone?
You do not know what I was doing.
Likewise, we all have our secrets, and we all do what we feel is best for ourselves in order to take care of business as necessary. So you did what you felt you needed to do, and I did what I felt I needed to do. Mine was under the circumstance that no one dies.
Some of your secrets are not your responsibility.
And I've not told any of your secrets, Violet, and I never will.
I'm just saying, when you're making decisions that affect all of us, it's not just your secrets.
Yes, but here's the thing. This secret included 3 individuals of whom none of you took into consideration other than the fact that they belonged to you. You wanted to send them to their deaths against the Giovanni because you feel that they are your child and you own them, but they are 3 individuals who are coming into a new life and they need to not be weaponized.
Honey, you are projecting so hard you could be a PowerPoint presentation. We are trying to give them space to live their own. This is not about using them. This is about finding a way for them to live at the end of this.
We're talking about finding them against the Giovanni of St. Valentine here.
Yes. You got some better actual plan? Again, would love to hear it. But until such time, we have to do things if we want any of them to be okay at the end of this.
I'm going to politically reach out to some friends and see if some of the other barons are willing to help us move the Giovanni out of this location. We cannot defeat them. They will not die. We just have to muscle them out, and we can't do it alone. But no one needs to die to accomplish that.
No one wants anyone to die. You've used one conversation that Reese had, one conversation that they had after a very emotional day about one very dangerous kindred.
They ate the first one as well. When the first one went down, it's always an emotional day. It's always
because Panda sucked the blood out of me to make them. Please do not.
I understand that, dear. You could have very much asked to just drink from me. You were very angry. None of us are 100% completely stable. That's why we're kindred. The thing is the best decision is that everyone survives. And going in fists first is not the way to do that.
Yes, but in my experience, muscling out others tends to induce death.
Darling, everything induces death in your afterlife. The only thing you can do is buy yourself more time, which is precisely what I'm trying to do by not causing a giant ruckus.
So, what you're suggesting, based on your actions, is that we should hold Reese accountable for one thing they did while under the influence of the beast. If that's true, maybe we should do that as a blanket to everyone. So
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's what you did
to yourself about what you are, and you cannot even admit that you yourself lose control at times. Then maybe you are not responsible enough to take care of the things that you think you are. Self-acceptance and self-awareness is the first step.
I am extremely self-aware. I have never denied what I am.
You brought up Reese a moment ago, who was very young.
I know they're young. What I'm saying is you're judging Reese based on one action.
No, Violet, I'm judging them based off of a series of actions because they are very young. Violet, you're not dumb. You've seen these things happen to you, and you've seen these kindred make these very, very innocent but very, very costly mistakes.
But I have never taken anyone's lives into my hands without talking to the other people it affects. What you're doing is prideful and selfish and short-sighted. You are underestimating us. You are making decisions without talking to us. They
will live, and so will you. And that is all that matters to me. And if you hate me for it, then you hate me for it. But you can hate me for it while you're alive.
I don't hate you. It is a wasteful emotion, but I sure as shit don't trust you.
You don't have to, dear. As a matter of fact, it's wise that none of us trust anyone. That's the wisest way to be in this life. If you didn't, I would think you were crazy.
And that's actually probably a good place for us to take a break. So we will take a quick 10, and then we will be back. So we are waiting for our technological overlords to let us know when we are out. You all make the trip over to the park, probably in silence. And as you arrive, you do see a young-looking female wearing a hoodie that is just sort of like pacing back and forth when you all arrive. That when you get there, she sort of looks up and like waves excitedly.
Hey, you. How you been?
She walks over. She's like, hey, Reese, hey, Lula, hey, Alquist, hey, Vi. Where's St. Valentine?
Oh, he's off planning for the big show he's got coming up here. You're going to be there, right?
She pulls her hood back when you say that, again, revealing her, quite frankly, terrible fish-like face. She's got sort of iridescent, purpley skin. She doesn't quite have scales. It's almost like a consistency more like a catfish. It's a beautiful color, but the fins that sort of come out of the side of her face. The most beautiful thing about her face, which is almost contradictory set into the rest of it, is she's got very beautiful, expressive eyes. And when you say you're going to be there, she goes, "Oh, can I?"
Oh, of course, dear. I'm just going to do me one favor. Well, a couple favors. We need a couple favors from you.
Wait. You're not about to do that thing that Temple does, are you?
No.
Yeah,
No,
okay,
of course
yes.
not. I would never do that to you. You're such a sweet thing. And plus, I think there's long-term memory issues involved with that or something. I haven't quite seen all that happen yet. Reese, dear, would you like to ask Maggie the favor?
Her?
About talking to some of her friends and possibly going with us. It was your brilliant idea. I think you might want to present it.
Look, part of tickets is we want to see more of you, more of your network. Like I said last time, we know who the true brains of the operation in any town are, and you've been a buddy, so why not keep working together?
What do you need? Tell me.
Well, what has the word been on the network about those military guys?
When you say that, you see like she immediately like switches. She's like, we are talking business now. Yes. Okay. I've maybe heard some stuff.
You know what? Actually, before I even ask for favors, I'm going to text St. Val's stage manager and say we're going to need VIP tickets. Stand by to confirm for any +1s and show it to Naki. So with that done,
it's something that, like, out here, it's like it doesn't agree with me. It makes me like, it gets me like teary-eyed.
Absolutely, just understood.
Yes,
understood.
absolutely.
So what have you heard?
Well, I sort of, kind of looked into those dudes I saw in front of the aquarium, Typhus and Zetes. I guess you probably already know what their deal is. As far as I can tell, there were there was 5 of them that were dispatched up here. That's 2 of them. The other 3 have been harder to pin down once they sort of went undercover. But
were you able to find any footage of them or photographs or anything of the other 3 that we might be able to know what they look like?
I'm working on it. I mean, I realize I'm supposed to be all like Nosferatu, like, maybe, who's to say? I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're too cool for that. You wouldn't do that sort of stuff with us. You're a real one.
Thank you. We might also need your help. I'm not quite certain as to how skilled you are at the whole hidey thing. And going invisible, but I do know that I've seen you before at that. I just don't know how old you are, dear. Nothing against you. I've seen you at Smacky's up in the valley. That bar with quite a few of your kind.
We like to raise a cup there.
Per Reese's request, if you could band together a couple of some of your friends that are choice at remaining unseen, they would be our best asset to be able to get a better look, perhaps, at some of the things around here that we need to check out.
She's like, so to be clear right now, are you all speaking to me as Naki, paragon of beauty, to help you myself, or are you all speaking to me as a representative of the local Nosferatu?
Both here.
And she sort of like, you very much see like her posture changes a little bit, and she's like, well, those are two different answers. I myself would love to help and do you any favors. In fact, I might have something interesting to show you here in a moment. If you want some of my cousins, quite frankly, if you can pay what they're asking, I got some people that can do what you need, but they are not cheap.
If you find out whatever their price is, dear, and at least let one of us know so we can take that information into consideration. Just talk to them, dear, and let us know. That would be most appreciated. I would consider that a personal favor.
So what you're saying is you're at least willing to pay for an expert.
I might be. Some of us might also be like this. So it depends, dear. It's quite possible that we would probably be able to foot a small bill for a large amount of help.
Miss Lula, remember that 8 with a crit since the unseen that you'd rolled earlier that I said you could bank?
Yeah.
You see from across the park 2 people walking your direction. One of them, you personally, Miss Lula, have seen before. He is jet black from head to toe. Almost as black as the Shadow Man is. His hair is black. Even his teeth are black. The only difference is in his eyes. He sort of has like a milky, almost like constellation patterns in his eyes. Even his nail beds are jet black, and he's wearing a tactical combat outfit with an MP5 machine gun sort of tucked, and he's got a young girl next to him who looks like almost like a desiccated and like crypt keeper-ish, and she has a long braid of blonde hair that is coming out of the side of her head that she's just sort of and she's wearing just like a hoodie and jeans. And they are both just walking your direction. Although he's holding the machine gun, he's by no means, pointing it or anything. And they're just sort of like coming near to Naki, listening.
How close are they to Naki?
They're 15-ish feet in closing. I mean, they just very casually are walking up behind her. I mean, they're not like, she's not about to get got type thing. It's like basically when she says the words, so what you're telling me is you're willing to pay for specialists. And you were like, yes, they pretty much came within range where you could perceive them.
Am I seeing them because my Auspex is up, or are they
Yes.
also visible to the naked eye?
No, you are very much seeing this with your alternative vision.
Oh, who else can see things? Bye, dear. Bye. Turn on your second sight for a moment as best you can and see if you can see what I see.
Same thing. Vi and Alquist, you can both roll your wits and Auspex and tell me how many successes you get to see if you see them or not.
Okay, hold on.
Neki does not acknowledge them in any way. You're not sure at all if she can see them either, Lula, but she pulls out her phone and she's like, okay, but since we're friends, I got to show you this real quick. I do have one suspect. And she shows you her phone, and there is a picture of a woman in a Long Beach PD police uniform. Alquist, this is absolutely one of the people that you pulled to the side. She's also the one that told you about the kindred in the military base.
Pretty nice.
You see absolutely nothing, Violet, beyond the ambient spectral energy that you're used to. When Lula's like, do you see anything? Nope.
I just have 3 successes.
Same thing. You don't see anything either, Alquist.
No, do I need to?
Naki, dear, are these your experts beside you? Because they are quite stealthy. I just am. The one thing I do really good is see, which is why I can see them. So, my partners here can't. So I assume that they're very, very, as I put before, choice at hiding.
When you say that, they basically appear to the left and right of Naki, and you see the people that I just described. The jet black man looks at you, Lula, and he's like, never can get past you, huh, Miss Lula? Good to see you again.
Oh, good to see you too, dear. I thought that was you, and I'm happy. Did you come because of what we had said to Naki, or did you just randomly decide that you missed all that?
Neki sort of like stands up straight and she's like, well, I thought you guys might be wanting to hire some hitters and I called the best. This is Eigen Grau, and she motions towards the jet black Nosferatu. And this is Jade. Don't let her good looks fool you. Jade is amazing. And Jade just looks at Neki and is like, you stop. Eigen Grau speaks up and he's like, yes, so, got to keep this quick because we got to be somewhere. But you don't call people like us unless you're trying to break into somewhere you're not supposed to be, hopefully not get caught. And if you do get caught, he just sort of holds up the machine gun a little bit. He's like, make sure you get away clean, right?
I think you understand the shape of our ambitions very well. I do cut my eyes to Alquist real quick. I want to try to get a little non-verbal footing this, Bill. Kind of query.
I'm oblivious.
Yeah, Alquist, you're 100% sure, by the way, that's what that woman that she showed you is one of the women you pulled aside and is the woman that told you about the base. You are 100% sure.
Well, I mean, I'm oblivious about footing the bill.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yes, I am.
Yeah.
Future Reese's problem then.
Right.
Got it.
Jade just sort of looks at you and she says, hey, so Neki's going to text you a bank account and a number. Once that amount is in that account, we're on the clock. All right?
All right. Do you have a rate sheet?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
If I have to ask, I know how to appropriately adjust my scope based on my budget to suit the expertise and pay accordingly, even if maybe for a more limited contracting arrangement.
Jade points at Alquist and she says, much, much less than Meat Boy paid for that floating fortress out in the bay.
Oh.
Always glad to hear that.
And Eigen just sort of leans in and he's like, but you get what you pay for, right?
How much are you asking for?
They sort of, they scratch their heads for a second and Eigen looks over and he's like, you're looking to go up against some military types, right?
Right.
He sort of like looks you up and down and he's like, 50 grand for the night, 75 if I gotta let my fingers do the talking.
75 grand. That's all.
Jade sort of looks at Eigen and she says, now it's 150.
That's fine. I have that on me right now.
We'll wait till the job's done, though.
Half enough?
Yes.
Neki just says, yeah, but half now and half when the job's done.
And do you want it in your bank account, or would cash be suffice?
He just sort of smiles, showing you his jet black teeth, and he's like, bank's fine. Keep the rest of it in your pants.
Good luck with that.
No promises.
They sort of look at Naki, and she's like, yeah, there's a other thing we sort of already committed to. Again, I can the show, right? Like I can.
Yes, absolutely.
She very much smiles and then like turns and looks at Jade, and Jade kind of looks at her like, come on. And she's like, oh, this is my serious Nosferatu face. Eigen looks at you and he looks, Alquist, was it your intention to send the money?
Yes. I currently do not know how to do that.
He just sort of looks and he's like, yeah, as soon as we got the deposit, we start the planning and we'll be ready to roll when you are, all right?
Much appreciated. Always like doing some straightforward business. And in all transparency, who knows what happens at shows like that? If for some reason you feel like your night is a little more work and a little less entertainment, maybe we work something out after the fact. I would hate for you to end up working on a night off and not get compensated. Always good to have people's eyes on a swivel, you understand?
It's the only eyes I got, baby. But you want to, in the spirit of the Enterprise, want to see a magic trick?
Always.
He holds up both of his hands and the MP5 just sort of like dangles from the strap. And he's like, nothing up my sleeves. Presto. And the three of them are gone right in front of you. They're just not there. Lula, even you can't see them.
Professional.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, Lula, you know it's hard to fool you.
I think they might have done that thing where they sped away real fast, because I even can't see them with the second sight. So I don't think they're here anymore.
Well, went pretty well. Thank you, Alice.
Alquist, can I see your phone real quick?
Yes. What for?
I take his phone and then I hand it to Reese. I'm like, Reese, can you request what's needed, please?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I take care of business.
You pay them the agreed upon deposit?
Alquist, would you be amenable to me giving them a bit of a deposit against in case Val's magic show goes tits up?
No.
Thank you. Much obliged. I'm going to kick in another 10 as a, like, hey, deposit just in case. And show good faith.
A message back from an unknown number that says, we'll be there. Apparently they text in a voice and an accent. Yeah. Speech to text. Yeah. And Alquist's phone is rigged to read it out to him. Although you all realize that Alquist looks like he's seen a ghost more than usual.
Alquist, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Should we talk about it later?
Perhaps.
Okay.
If there's anything that you need, any kind of clarity or anything, if you'd like me to look into something for you, into the abyss or the universe, if you have any questions that you feel you need answered, let me know here, and I'll of course see if I can shed some light on anything for you.
You have answers to the questions of the universe?
42 is usually what the answer ends up being if you're that vague. But for the most part, yes, some.
Curious. What was the question that the answer 42 was?
Well, I
Exactly.
don't know about mice making a big experiment to figure that out, but it's neither here nor there.
A shame. So the plan is the motel, or what is the plan for now? We have our friends in the shadow.
The morgue, I think.
Morgue? How are you all getting there? Are you riding in Violet's truck? Are you taking Uber? Have you acquired a new vehicle?
I can drive.
All right. You all load into the car and make your way over.
I'd like to sit right behind Vi.
And once again, when we pull up, I will immediately activate Sense the Unseen when we get to the outside of the building.
Go ahead and roll it for me. While you're driving, Alquist, do you say anything?
No, I'm just giving out back rubs the whole time. Just feeling, touching, maybe a little bit not safe for work.
little involuntary swerving at times there, but that's
I'm driving.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah, sorry. I get carried away sometimes.
He has nothing to report. Nothing is going on at all. He has nothing he needs to share with the rest of the class. It's fine.
Yep.
Just like I said at the top of the show. That's right. That's what I said. Everything's fine. Yeah.
That was what I took from it. Sorry, Lula. I think I heard you say you were spending a willpower, but what did you get?
Yes, 6 with no crit.
Lula, as you pull up to this sprawling medical complex, which, quite frankly, in light of recent events, I will not name because I don't need a hardworking hospital to suddenly be like, they got a killer in the basement. But it's a major one. It has sort of the standard spectral profile that you would expect. Again, Long Beach is just very ambiently haunted. Hospitals always have an excessive number of ghosts. Quite frankly, people that just don't quite know that they're dead yet. Intermittently, Lula, you see the light open up all over the place. In a strange way, it almost reminds you of your old Hollywood premiere days with the spotlights, but it's like the exact opposite. Instead of the light beaming from the ground into heaven, the light's sort of beaming from heaven down to the ground, intermittently.
Go ahead and respond.
And although it is busy because this is a large one, beyond that, you don't see anything beyond what you'd expect.
So far, everyone, it appears to be normal hospital business. None of that like weirdness with the doc with having way too many ghosts or less ghosts. So that everything seems about on par for here. I don't see any wards or anything, so none of that madness. I think we might be able to just walk right up to reception and do a little thing maybe, and get back in to see if we can find it.
Or, yeah, Alquist, if you want to go distract someone.
Sure. What do we know where they are, first off?
Morgue, probably in a basement. Actually, the pathology department might even be on a public directory. Pick that up. They're often nearby.
Yeah, with a few minutes on the internet, you figure out at least roughly, which wing of the hospital that should
We
be.
can get past that first gate. It's usually easier to move around freely. That said, someone's key card doesn't tend to hurt if we manage to get our hands on it. Sometimes more sterile or more secure areas get guarded like that.
To look less suspicious, possibly.
I would love to
Four
find...
non-sick people walking through a hospital and just kind of, why are you all here? Oh, we just came for coffee. You know, it's at least if we're separate, a bit by bit, if someone, you know, stops us and asks us if we're looking for someone, we can say, oh, Miss Jones in room 102 or something. You know, it might be worth it to at least split into twos, maybe. It's up to you guys. Really, I'm trying to keep us as inconspicuous as possible.
We're here for the support group. Hospitals always have one of those, and that's a bunch of people who would be there at the same time.
Oh, perfect, Dave. Yes.
I don't mind
Albus.
if we. Oh,
Sorry, I mean to interrupt you, but Alquist, you said a second ago you were going to do something.
Yes, I would like to find a security guard. Any around? Just out of curiosity.
It's as you walk in. Again, this is by no means, a paramilitary establishment. Do you all intend to sort of come in kind of to just the main entrance to the hospital, or do you kind of mean to go more side entrance-ish sort towards the wing that the morgue is probably in? I guess basically, are you intending to come through the hospital to the morgue, or outside straight into the morgue?
I think the shortest distance is the best way to go.
To the side door, yes.
Okay. As you all, and do you pull the truck all the way in because she is fairly conspicuous, or do you like park in the deck or what have you and then come over on foot?
Oh, I would park nearby. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure there's a large parking lot somewhere.
Okay.
People got trucks. That's normal. It's a thing.
I mean, extended cab, wide body, but yes. No, she is a spectacle. That is true. As you hop out of the car, Reese, Lula, and Alquist, give me your wits and awareness. Or investigation, if that is higher. You all are looking to see if you notice something that Vi already knows.
Does concealed objects do anything here?
No, because it's not something hidden so much as just whether or not you notice.
That's 2 from me.
Reese's mind is elsewhere.
I got a 5.
Crit or no crit?
No crit.
Okay, that'll be good. But let's just see what Miss Lula Castile gets, so we know for sure.
I also got 5.
Crit or no crit?
No.
Both Lula and Alquist, sort of as you hop out of the truck, you notice there's 2 very different types of mud all over it. There is a lot of sticky mud that is clearly dried, and there is a lot of dust that is a different color than the mud. If you had to wager a guess, Vi was 2 very different places lately, both of which out of the city.
It's pretty standard for Vi, though.
You take from it what you will. Just it is something you notice as you hop out of the truck.
It's a little curious.
Same thing. Looks like we've done a bit of off-roading there, Vi, but that doesn't seem to be abnormal for you. You're a woodsy girl, like any old lady, I've always said.
Do you actually say that out loud, Lula, or is that more kind of your internal monologue?
Oh, no, I do say that out loud.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my boots are dirty as well, but I mean, maybe we should just keep going.
Oh,
Right.
yes, back to the matter.
You'll tell us if something's ever relevant.
Yeah, and something is, it's just not priority.
Understood.
Well, do sort of make your way across the hospital complex. Again, it is somewhat quiet at night, although its visitation isn't quite over yet, so there's still a certain hum of activity around here coming and going. Yes, Miss Lula.
I would like to activate Spirit's Touch on the vehicle before we walk off.
Ooh, well, roll it, and even though we're gonna say you're walking, I'm gonna tell you what you know once I get the roll.
Do I see her touch my truck?
I mean, honestly, even the act of her closing the door could have done it. So, I mean, she doesn't have to like close her eyes and like, you know what I mean? She just has to touch it. So, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily know.
Okay.
Yep.
Privacy with OpEx.
Nope. Yeah, and they say people with Dominator the monsters. I'm going to say you all to keep walking, although again I will retroactively tell you what you know, Lula, once I get that. Again, it is normal night, which you'd expect at a hospital, coming and going, the odd ambulance, so you see people walking in, all smiles with it's a girl balloons and flowers. You also see people consoling each other in the hallways, shoulders heaving. The full spectrum of human existence's highs and lows are all taking place within about a square block. And as you make your way around, yes, Miss Lula, how many?
9 with crit.
Vi, the Spirit's Touch does not give specific details so much as emotional impressions of what's been around the truck. So starting from now, 9 with a crit is a significant success. Yes, Miss Lula.
It is up to you, but I do believe it says in the book that it can play out actual scenes. You can have actual visions of what has happened, depending on how well you roll.
For this, you see from right before you left to go to the park, right before you met with Naki, how did Violet feel?
Oh, you mean today?
Well, it's starting now and kind of going to move back through time. So yes, so right when you left the house on the way to the park, how did Violet feel?
She felt lots of anger and a sense of betrayal, and the sense that something in her that had started to become mended was broken.
Back to when she first arrived back to the house, from when she was gone a week, when you pulled up and you first laid eyes on St. Valentine's Haven.
A sense of, what's the phrase? A surety and maybe belonging.
When Lula, you're getting these, the visions of the truck is always kind of just sort of sitting in a clearing with Violet coming and going to it. When you were leaving the desert, how did Violet feel?
Like she knew what she wanted.
In last, when you arrived in the woods, fresh off of losing your noose and arrived in the woods, how did Violet feel?
She felt excited and hopeful and determined.
That's what you got, Miss Lula. And you were very clear on the fact that the truck was very much in the desert. Like it's arid and windswept in a starry night. And you also get the truck being out in dense wilderness, like very much had to off-road and grind to get out there. Like it could have gone no further. It was sort of if I don't stop right here, then, this truck's probably never coming out of here. But nothing else happens in its immediate vicinity besides those things and those feelings. And that's what you received, Miss Lula. What, sorry?
I said Lula will just keep walking with the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm. Again, there is no external sign that she's done this, so it's just information that Lula now possesses. As you all sort of make your way around, again, there is, the odd security camera, but this is by no means a military facility, nor is it on high alert. So it's fairly easy to kind of walk down the sort of ramp area. There's the odd bays that you can see trucks back up to. An ambulance slowly pulls out at one it's 1 point. They don't really pay you any real mind. And you do see a big truck backed up to a landing that just says coroner. And there is a young woman standing there, not wearing a full, actually she is wearing a full police uniform. Just sort of kind of, ambiently, hands on her belt, sort of looking around, not particularly vigilant. It is cold and rainy this time of year, so it is not the nicest night outside. You all make your way.
Alquist, do you want to go make a friend?
I was going to say I would like to activate awe. And that would be quite nice.
As soon as you activate awe, of course, she being immortal, her head snaps your direction. And she goes, ooh, look at you, fine folks. Are you all lost?
Look at you. You're quite fine yourself. Yes, I am a bit lost, actually. And if you could help me find my way, I would be forever in your debt.
You all it's fairly easy to sort of make your way up one of those like stairs to the landing type thing to drop off where the trucks back up. You know how it is. That thick rubbery thing to stop the truck from smashing into the landing. She's like, well, this isn't really a public entrance here. I don't think you want to go in there. That's the morgue.
Ooh, that sounds disastrous. Maybe we could find a place more suited for us living folk.
Oh yeah, well you just sort of you can either go back that way. You can go around, and this is the front entrance. Visitation's only about another half hour, so you got to hurry. Or if you kind of keep going down around that way, about another 100 yards or so, there's an entrance to the emergency room. What is it that you all were looking for here? You're all dressed so fine. I assume you're here to just visit someone, or did you here to? Wait, are you all like doctors or something? Are you? And then she sort of looks at you just for a second, Lula, because it's very difficult to take her eyes off of Alquist. She's like, to do a seance or something.
No, never.
Oh, yeah, are you a fan of my work?
She, again, you find like, because she's supernaturally compelled to pay attention to Alquist, but she's like, I didn't want to say anything, but when I was little, I used to watch your specials all the time, Miss Castile. Big fan. You look so good. It's like you haven't aged a day. That is incredible.
Oh, thank you, dear. I've got the best plastic surgeons that, all of money can buy. All the fortune tellers. I've been not a lot of stress.
Whatever you've been doing, please keep at it. You are stunning. And you see, she looks back at you for a second, Alquist, and her eyes kind of narrow. She's like, don't I know you from somewhere? I don't think I'd forget a face that beautiful, but I swear I know you from somewhere.
Maybe. I've been around. Were you at a crime scene not too recently?
She's like, well, I'm at crime scenes all the time, sir.
Yes, but I'm also a consult. They hire me from time to time to help with cases and such.
Is that why you're here?
Yes, indeed. Actually, I'm on a case.
Can I help?
Yes, I was really actually hoping that you would say that.
What can I do? I've kind of can't go too far away from the truck, and she very much points towards the big coroner van there. She's like, kids, they want to break in and steal stuff that just has LA coroner written on it. Yeah, I know. But it's a thing. She looks at you for a second, Reese, and she's like, you're not here to try and gank my van, are you?
What the heck? Come on, really?
I mean, it's the hair and sort of the like, you. I mean, I don't want to judge by appearances, but I mean, unfortunately, that's my job. Literally profiling that's the.
This is my bodyguard. Please do not insult them. They are amazing at their job. You need to learn to stop profiling, dear. You have a badge and an honor to uphold.
apologize. Can't turn off the training. I'm sure you look very fearsome. You look
Much
very
appreciated, but you understand with the security concerns of Miss Castile why the front entrance was not appropriate for us, and because she is working alongside Mr. Vincere for this purpose.
Vincere! Yeah, those people got all killed at your factories. That's
Well,
I read the APBs. Like at one point, I was looking for you, but hey, I'm glad you beat that, man. I knew that didn't make any sense. That somebody like you would start killing people at your factory.
exactly.
That's actually how he got involved with the police. He helped them solve that crime.
Yes, indeed. I was very important in that entire case and the solvings of it. Curiously, could you show me what is inside this van?
Oh, she's empty right now. They did take some poor souls inside.
Yes, I would like.
Sorry, what?
Entrancement.
Okay, and yes, Reese.
Sorry, which ones were those? I want to see whether it was any of those folks were the ones that these two were hired to consult on.
As a mortal, she is of course defenseless against your entrancement. And what went from just sort of like pleasant fangirling quickly takes on just enraptured awe of like.
Perfect. Dear, if you could help us, and do you have a security card to this establishment? I assume you do.
Yeah. Yeah. And she does just sort of like, without taking her eyes off of you, just sort of like, touches the security card that's kind of like dangling from a clip on her waist.
Please hand it over.
She unclips it and hands it to you.
I give it to Reese or Vi, whoever's closest.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not supposed to leave from out here, but I will if you want me to.
We don't have to leave, actually. If you could show me the back of that truck.
She very much goes right over and opens it right up, and she's telling you the truth. It's the empty corner van. You can see there's an empty gurney, a space for another one. The standard accoutrement you'd expect.
If you've got this handled, Mr. Vincere, we'll head on inside.
Yes, please.
She's like, I'll help you however you need, Mr. Vincere.
Fantastic. I am feeling a bit peckish, and I close the doors to the back of the truck.
As she's getting in, she's like, I don't think there's anything to eat in here, sir. And then the doors close. Yeah.
I think I'll make do.
As you all make your way into the hallway, it's exactly what you would expect. It is very cold. The lights are very industrial. Kind of unpainted concrete. You hear the ambient noise off in the distance of, muffled PA systems calling for this person or that, and see somebody sort of go by pushing a gurney,
Is it obvious where to go? Are there like signs?
Yes, you definitely sort of like kind of go ahead, hook a right, like you're very close to the morgue because this is, where they enter the bodies. Yep.
Let's go.
Lula, I think you said something.
Oh, I was literally about to ask if there was any kind of directory or anything. So yes.
Yeah, it is quite clear. So much so it's even got almost those like yellow like landing lights there. It's kind of like come this way, go away, because the last thing the hospital needs is you to like roll out into a common area with a corpse. So it is incredibly clear which way to go. And as you all sort of like turn the table and go over to the side, up ahead, there is a desk with an older lady sitting there, sort of salt and pepper hair, who sort of looks up when you all come around the corner and says, "Oh, my dear, are you folks lost?"
No, not at all. We're here with the coroner sent us in for pre-checks, and I showed the badge. She couldn't leave the post. So, hi, assistant.
Give me your manipulation and subterfuge, Reese. Or charisma, if that's higher.
depending on how well this goes, if it is not substantial, Lula will try to dominate.
Okay. Lay it on me, Reese.
6 with crit.
She very much looks at you. What does Reese look like today?
Reese is in overalls. Just looks very blue collar, but nondescriptly so.
Mm-hmm. In the blue hair?
Yep. Hey,
And
the living might complain about it, but the dead wouldn't mind.
no, they got you on a good night. And what does Vi look like currently?
Vi is wearing jeans and a sort of nondescript button-up and a somewhat dusty leather jacket that is long enough to cover the holsters that she is wearing, and boots.
And last but certainly not least, what does Miss Lula Castile look like?
Well, she's got on a very simple, plain black dress this evening with a peacoat, a rather large black peacoat over the top of it. She still has her jeweled headband on, but she looks slightly more clean-lined than she usually does when it comes to fashion.
The woman sort of like looks the three of you up and down, and she says, well, you all don't look like any coroners that I've ever seen, but what do I know?
Yeah, we look like all kinds, right?
She's like, well, right now, I believe, and you see she like very much flips through something on her desk, and she's like, Mr. Lewis should be on duty in there. Or, wait, I think Lewis, he might have called in sick. I don't know. He's so strange. I mean, it's a common misconception that people think like morticians are, odd people. Some of them are just very lovely, regular people. But Mr. Lewis is, I don't know if you've met him. He's a little...
No, I just started up in this gig a few weeks ago. You got any tips working with him? I don't want to make a bad first impression.
Just don't take it personal if he doesn't really talk to you, and he just goes missing. I don't know. I don't. She leans in and she's like, I don't want to tell tales out of school, but well, he's a very unique person. That's it. I'll just say it like that. Yeah, I'll just say it like that.
Understood. Hey, I appreciate it. How much longer you got on your shift?
She looks over at you and she's like, well, I work the day shift. Thank the maker. This is not the kind of place you want to be in around midnight. Trust me.
I believe it.
She's like, between the coroners and we have kids sneaking in here trying to record YouTube ghost videos and all of that foolishness, which of course, I'm a scientist. I do not believe in such things. However, this place does make my skin crawl late at night.
Well, you're out of here soon then, it sounds like. Hope you get home to a nice dinner.
Lula. Actually, Vi, you also give me your wits and aspects. Actually, you don't even need to. Both Lula and Violet, you see the spectral outline of a person. It is a man with a steering wheel embedded in his chest. And he sort of like walks into the hallway and sort of looks to the left and the right and then walks across the hallway. And she says, well, don't let me all keep you from your business here. If you want to go on through, I will buzz you in.
Much appreciated. And I check the name card real quick so I can call her by first name.
Redwood.
Thank you so much, Redwood.
She's like, oh, you are quite welcome, Officer Flores.
There you go.
And she hits the button and you hear the laugh that allows you to go through. And you all get through that door, and when it closes behind you, you all hear very much, it's like ka-chunk. You are muted, Vi.
I would like to make my way in after I'm done with Officer Flores.
What do you request her to do? Because she will do it.
So many things. But
No, after when you're
afterwards.
leaving, sir.
Afterwards, I wanted to watch like the entry, and if anybody is suspect, to inform us immediately.
She very much is like hooking her belt back on, and she's like, I've never done anything like that. I don't know what got into me.
I know, exciting. And also me, I was in you.
She very much is like, okay, don't tell anybody. I could lose my job for this. You stop it.
It's fine. And I do lingering kiss on her.
She writes her phone number on the inside of your arm, and she's like, hey, we got to do this again. You know, like I work like weird hours, but you know, the 440, I have a lot of time off.
Yes, I do. I think we can do this again. Yes.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on things.
Next time you have to come to my place instead.
I would love that, Mr. Lazier. I would love that. Yeah, you go down that hallway, go to the right. When you see Redwood, tell her you're with Officer Flores.
Right, of course. Thank you. I make my way.
Beautiful. You all get through into that hallway, and again, there is a clinging stench of just formaldehyde and death. You all know it well.
Grace walk up to the row of the lockers and to open the refrigerators, and she'll start gently knocking on each one of them to see if there's any answer coming from any of the morgue drawers.
So you would have to go sort of a little ways in and kind of hook a right to get to the room with the drawers, but you very much could do that. Yeah, no problem. Yes, Vi, you were saying something.
Grace, when you said that one of your children was in the morgue, were they for sure on a slab, or could they have been an employee?
I got a lot of ambiguous information about it. I wouldn't be surprised, based on Redwood's description, if we're about to meet with this mortician and find him on his road to perdition.
Yeah, all right. This Mr. Lewis fellow sounds a little...
Archibald said one of their names was Jake, and that's the one we haven't accounted for, so maybe if the name card says it, it'll give us a bit of a hint.
Okay.
Is you all make your way in there. Lula, you come into the room and no one's here. And you start knocking on the drawers. And when you knock on it, there's a row of 16, you know, those 4, 4, and 4. That's 12. 4, 4, 4, and 4. There are 16. One of the ones on the bottom, when you finally knock, you hear from inside.
Oh, guys, and Lula will point at the one to the other two of the one that she heard noise coming from.
Alquist, you arrive basically in time to see Lula kind of being like, you all notice that he's got lipstick all over him and his collar's a little ruffled.
What do you roll for an anti-perception check? Like, how many successes do I have to roll to not see it?
You know, here's the thing. If you've got heightened senses, you can dull senses. Otherwise, you are stuck, which is something I identify with on a spiritual level, Reese.
I'm gonna look around for like a napkin or paper towel or something and just hand it to him.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Paper towels, you know, hand sanitizer, singing those big industrial sinks, you know, are all over the place. As you all make your way through here, especially if you kind of follow after Lula, there's clearly prep rooms, and many of them are occupied. And you see the deep freeze that is a solid steel door that is very cold, that you know are where they put the bodies in for long-term storage.
Hey, Jake, buddy. Want to come out say hi?
And you all feel a wave of fear go through you. You feel just an existential dread.
Oh dear. Oh, he's got that thing.
What thing?
Honey, we're not going to hurt you. You have to come out. We're friends. We know what you're going through, and we're not going to hurt you.
You all feel this fear sort of stabbing daggers in your heart. And you hear, go away.
Your spook isn't going to work that easily on us like it did on whoever it was that worked on before, my friend.
All of you roll your unspent... Actually, roll composure and resolve, which that is the number that is equal to your willpower. So you're not actually rolling willpower, but it is the same number for the sake.
But I get unswayable mind on this, so thank you.
Oh yeah, you absolutely get your unswayable mind. Anyone that has that does get it.
Oh, that's me.
Mm-hmm. It does apply to just such things.
I also think I'm going to blood search my resolve for this check.
Okay.
Because I've learned that I like making those kind of checks. I like succeeding. That feels good.
It does feel good. Yes, Vi?
Composure and resolve, is that what you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you have unswayable mind, it does apply.
I don't. I do have Quell the Beast, but...
Yep, that's not quite the same thing.
3 successes.
7 with a crit.
8 with a crit.
Lula, Reese, and Alquist, you all kind of can stand your ground. Vi, you're by no means like frantically fearful, but yeah, you kind of want to get out of here. You're like, nah, this is weird. There's something scary in the drawer of the morgue. Like, you feel very intimidated, Violet.
Okay.
I grab Vi's hand and hold it nice and tight.
Come on, buddy. I told you that wasn't going to work. We're going to need you to come out and talk to us.
Is anyone going to open the drawer?
I want him to make that choice, so I'm not doing it yet.
Go away! I'm a ghost! I will haunt you!
My dear, that's not going to work on us. Too many things already haunt us already. If you could just please step outside so that we can help you, that would be much appreciated.
A moment later, you do hear, and the drawer opens just a little bit. And it's actually fairly dark inside. And you see a pair of red eyes inside. I said go away!
Oh, now dear, we're not going to do that, otherwise we'd miss seeing your beautiful face. I'm Lula Castile, famed psychic medium to the stars, dear. So how I found you here, since you know you're a ghost and all.
And the eyes sort of like turn from left to right, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna come out, but don't make me angry, or you'll regret it.
Take your time. Nice and easy. We're here to help.
And the door slides open, and inside you see a very mousy-looking man with glasses and bright red eyes under those glasses, wearing a coroner's uniform with Jacob Lewis written across the shirt. And he does sort of like get out and kind of like look around at all of you, and he's like, you shouldn't be in here. This is a classified area, restricted.
We were in the cave.
And when you say that, he very much like slams across the back of the wall, like scrambles away from you. And he's like, I lost my glasses in the insanity. I couldn't see anybody in there.
Well, I'm sure things have been real difficult for you since then. And we're some of the people who are trying to make it better.
He holds his hands up towards you, and he's like, "Don't come near me. I mean it. I can do things."
Okay, I understand. I can do them too. I'm sure things have changed. You might be able to do different things than I can. But we can learn about it together, right?
And like you see when he's standing there, all of you give me wits and awareness. Three.
4.
4.
7 with a crit.
5 from Lula, 7 with a crit from Vi. All right. Lula, you think you see this, but Vi, you see it specifically. He is by no means a particularly muscular man. But when he's standing there panting, you see he suddenly becomes incredibly vascular. Like you very much see like the veins like come, like if he were like a weightlift, like a bodybuilder flexing as hard as he can, you would expect it. But like all the veins on him like clear, like visibly rise. And he's like,
I don't know if y'all seen his veins, but I feel like he's maybe about to do something.
We're all hanging easy here, right? Right, Jake?
Yeah, I'm not going back to that cave. There was like people were running and screaming and like somebody got attacked by a monster. And
about that. No one's taking you back to the cave at all. As a matter of fact, we're kind of like a support group for each other, of everyone that was kind of there in a way. We're all kind of trying to find each other and pick up the pieces of what happened and make things well, not right again, because we're not entirely certain we can do that, but at least better together.
Miss Lula, give me your charisma and either persuasion or subterfuge, whatever's going to be better for you.
Do looks count for this?
Yes, looks absolutely count for this. You are stunning, Miss Lula. While Miss Lula's putting that together, what are the rest of you doing? Because he's just sort of against the wall, cornered animal.
Keeping a lot of space, because that's what you do with cornered. Like, I want him to feel like he is making choices to de-escalate and like get a little below that threshold. So it's very much the same way that you do with a prey animal, which, ultimately he is for me. What?
What?
That was 7 with a crit.
The beast says what? You do see like the breathing, psychosomatic or otherwise, like definitely slows, but the vascularity continues. He's like, oh, you all were in the cave. Oh, you're here to help. Oh, okay. My name's Jacob Lewis.
Nice to meet you. I'm Reese Keegan.
Hello, Jacob. I am Alquist.
Just make your acquaintance, Jake.
Why are you hiding with the corpses?
Ooh, I've had everything I need in here. I just after that terrible night in the cave, I just went back to work. This because I was late anyway. I worked nights. And when I got in here, oh dear.
Have you been feeding on them?
No, that would be terrible. Like, who would do such a thing, desecrating these proud people in their moment of most vulnerability? No, they must be treated with dignity and respect.
Dear, so I think it's probably time to tell you something that you may have figured out, but not necessarily want to admit to yourself. But we'll, what you call Kindred, dear. What that blue man, that crazy-looking blue man with the orange hair in the cave when he did the thing. We are vampires now, dear.
When you say that, the daunt drops. You feel that clawing terror sort of let go of your heart. And he very much runs across the room and grabs your hands, Lula. And he's like, "You feed on dead bodies too?" I thought I was so crazy. I came back to work that night and they wheeled somebody in and I just was looking at them and I was like, and then I started doing the autopsy and I just started taking out the parts and I couldn't help myself. I just had to. And when he's saying this to you, you see his fangs slide down in his mouth.
Oh, no. Put those back in. Hold on. No, you're not weird. Not none of us feed on the dead, but it's not uncommon. There are lots of kindred who actually do that. It's kind of a toss-up. People have their own preferences, but I suppose this has worked out. To be honest with you, dear, if that's what your case calls for, that's very good. That means that you'll be very quiet and no one will ever suspect you, and you don't ever have to worry about actually killing anyone.
Oh, yeah, it seems sort of cliche to be some sort of like grave robber, but it really hasn't been so bad. I sort of, people get brought in every day. I sort of do my thing, and then I tend to them as normal. I sort of sleep in that drawer down there. I handle all the paperwork so nobody ever looks, and, it's just sort of been okay. I just lost myself in my work, really.
There's, of course, a few things, dear, but can't tell anyone what you are.
Who'd believe it?
Okay, you know, dear. We put a little thing together on a cruise ship that essentially is kind of like a school for kindred. We're trying to give everyone the protocol, just the 411, the basics of what you need now in your new life as a group all together. We're gonna do these things. So if you can take a week off from work, perhaps, dear, we could figure out a way to, of course, get you fed while you're on the ship with us. But I think that as a tiny vacation filled with information and knowledge that's literally going to last you an eternity.
Reese, you were about to say something?
I hop on Lula's train. Yeah, it's like, think of it like a continuing medical education module, right?
Oh, like a conference, but it's sea.
It is, sometimes the subspecialists, like the fancy doctors, they always do their own association conferences in like fancy locations that they have an excuse to do that. I bet morticians don't get that nearly enough, right?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a valid science. It is always advancing, but, the basics are kind of unchanged.
It doesn't get the respect that it deserves.
No, it doesn't. There was that terrible video about, and he holds up a spirally plug-shaped thing. And he's like, it's, the people seem so terrified at what you have to do with these, but it's vital, and you do not want to leave it out. Trust me, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Ask a Mortician has done a great job for our fine and necessary vocation. And he sort of puts it back on the tray, and he's like, well, but I have been pulling a lot of OT since last November. I've sort of been working 6 sun down to sun up for months. I'd probably do a little absconce, really.
Yeah, You do seem like a really hard worker, but frankly, we came up on you. You seem a little strapped. You could use this. Let us do this for you, huh?
Well, I was afraid that people would think I was some kind of freak down here.
No, I understand that. That makes perfect sense. And that's why it's a real good thing that you aren't alone. We're here.
Just, if whoever that was in the cave, the one that attacked that man, if that one shows up, you save me from him, okay?
We're gonna make sure that one doesn't ever hurt you.
You see the vascularity sort of like goes down a little bit. The painting has stopped completely.
There you go. Yeah, we all got our different things. You real good at scaring people off with that ghost thing.
Yeah, no, I've gotten a lot of yards out of that one. I shut off all the lights and just, I can see, and his eyes turn red again, and he's like, ooh, can you all do this? And he sort of goes over and he grabs like a one of those silver trays that they drop the instruments in, and he sort of like looks around for a second, and he picks up a scalpel and he cuts his finger, and he throws the scalpel into the tray, and his blood smells terrible. It is stinging and acrid. It burns your nose. It burns your eyes. And he lets it drip on the instrument, and you hear it, and it starts to bubble and eat through the scalpel. And it even starts to eat through the tray a little. And he's like, ooh. And he sort of like goes over to like the industrial sink and sort of like, shh. Yep. He's like, can you all do that?
Wow.
Sorry, Miss Lula, I couldn't hear you there. I couldn't quite make out what you said.
St. Valentine can do that, can't he?
The magician? Oh, I love that guy. I watched his YouTube special.
Maybe I'll meet him.
Yes, indeed.
So I have a shift tonight. Can't leave. Things get backed up here. Chaos.
I heard 3 more came in tonight.
Just ooh, and it's just like the night's just getting started. But I can put in for some time, and then I would love to go to your conference at sea.
Here's my number. We can be in touch. Talk to your direct report. Put in for some PTO.
I have a question before the conference. We have there's someone else who was in the cave that we are looking to help out and find, but they're in a tricky location. And I feel like your skills might be helpful. Is that something that would you be interested in helping us save another?
Well, it would be a welcome change of pace to save a life for once.
Okay. We'll be in touch.
Yeah. He's like, "Ew," and he goes over sort of just like near the edge of the hallway, and he's like, "Oh, beware the ghost." And he's like, I have to like make sure like when Redwood goes home, like whoever clocks in next, I gotta like get the hairs up on the back of the neck. Yeah. And those of you that have the sight, very much see the man with the steering wheel in his chest sort of like walks out and looks right at him. And he turns around and looks at you and he goes, "Ghosts aren't real, though. Apparently vampires are. Whoa, who'd have thought?" Yeah.
You do know ghosts are real.
What?
Yes. There's several here already.
He very much like wheels backwards and like knocks over a tray of instruments and like... He's like, I'm sorry, anybody who's mad that I took a little bit of your blood. But I did an extra round of makeup to make you look so pretty afterwards.
I think you're all right on that front. Don't worry about it. You're good. So what was
Yeah,
the image of us?
They weren't using them bodies anyway.
Yeah. Oh. Is there like something I can like Google and like read up on like this condition? I sort of ran some preliminary tests on myself and I sort of panicked when I didn't have a pulse, but again, just in the work. I tried to take a blood sample and then it sort of like ate through the tube and I just kind of figured.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing where for bioethics reasons, they try not to make too many medical reports. I mean, you know that there are some people who would construct all sort of studies, and not everyone goes about that in the best of ways. So it's something that's investigated very carefully, and there haven't been a lot of publications yet.
Ooh, the night of the cave when I got here and I came to work, this nice young man came back with me also. His name was Romer, and he insisted on going to get checked out upstairs. I just wanted to put that behind me, go to work. He was like, "Oh, what do we do? What have they done?" And he's like, "Oh, just go talk to the emergency room, lad. Don't follow me anymore." Yeah,
That's the man we're trying to save. When he got
from the
checked,
hospital.
when he got checked out, they took him. There's a reason you can't talk about what you are. Most people are not very obliging when they find out about us.
What is it like the Inquisition or something? You never expect them.
No,
Unfortunately, we do expect them. Like I said, people do unethical things sometimes, and that's why discretion is so important. You made a very, very good choice. Just putting your head, keeping your nose down, doing your work. It didn't work out so well by Romer, and that's why we want to help him out of that kind of situation. There should never be anything again like Tuskegee, and that's kind of what we're worried is going on.
Oh, well, yes, I'll put in for my time off tonight.
Yeah.
I'll be ready to go when you say so.
Really appreciate that, Jacob. You're doing real well with a real difficult situation. We just want to help keep you safe. Make sure nothing like that ever happens to you.
Thank you.
In my head, I wonder whether corrosive vitae tastes like spicy food.
Probably just like burning.
I would love to find out. No, focus. Okay.
While you're standing there, Alquist, your phone rings. It is St. Valentine's number.
Oh. Hello?
Hey, you're late for rehearsal. Remember, I need you. You have to hit all your marks or this won't work. And come on, get down here.
Yes. Currently, I can't get through the phone, so I would have to drive there.
Will you tell Reese or Violet or Lula or literally anybody to bring you over to the club now? This show is important.
Yes, they're right here, actually.
Is that St. Valentine?
What was that?
Yeah.
Is that St. Valentine, dear?
Hey, Lula, hi.
Hand it over.
Oh, I've got wonderful news for you, St. Valentine. The Baron of Long Beach is coming to your show.
Amazing. I'll have to make sure there's a front row seat for him.
Oh, it's a her, dear. It's me.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's a good place for us to stop. So join us next week for the season finale. This will be the first season we do our own epilogues, but next week we will have a silky smooth and uneventful, very public showing of Tremere Magic, which I'm sure will be fine. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, be safe out there, and we will see you next week.